time for my weekly Feng Shui astrology and timing tip. And today we're going to talk about Feng Shui and the Oakland, California fire that happened just last week. So today's topic really isn't a happy one, but sometimes it's necessary to talk about life's messy events to have a better understanding. On December 2nd, the citizens of Oakland, California, they experienced a horrific event of a blazing fire at the Ghost Ship warehouse with a confirmed death toll of 36 people. And many are still missing. And at the time of this live airing of my show, they really haven't confirmed absolutely what the cause of the fire was, but it does appear it was an accident. You know, this event has had a devastating ripple effect on the community, with several business owners forced to close their doors due to rescue efforts. And the officials have declared a state of emergency in Oakland. So to the families and victims of the Oakland Fire, you have my sincere condolences and prayers. Unfortunately, Oakland is no stranger to attracting violence, crime, protests, and fire. So why is that so? When you have a chain of events that occurs like this, there really always is a Feng Shui pattern that exists. Now that pattern can either be a positive effect or a negative one, and unfortunately this one has some negative connotations to it. So when I analyze classical Feng Shui, I always look at person, space, and time. So in other words, the astrology is the person, Feng Shui is the space, and time using the Time Blazer business management system. So, you know, with the time that we do have today, I'm going to talk about two recent spiraling events that occurred in Oakland. One was the riots and vandalism post the U.S. presidential election, and this most recent tragic Oakland fire. So, you know, the people of Oakland, they didn't even get the wave of coming back up before they got pushed back down again. It was just one negative event after the other. Now, I believe that the annual year of the fire monkey had a lot to do with these events. Now, we have seen all across this year the unpredictability of the fire monkey. We've seen a pattern of volatility, aggression, and violence. Now, not just in Oakland, it's been kind of across the board, but I'm choosing Oakland as my topic today. Now, the fire monkey is also known for wildfires, as we saw in Oakland, and unfortunately a high death toll. But why Oakland for both of these events? So for this, I look at the landform. Now, when I look at an aerial view, just go on Google Maps and plug in Oakland, California, you can see that the eastern part of the city has the benefit of mountains. Now, this is the embrace that we look at in Feng Shui, which actually that part of the city has better Feng Shui. Now, when the city begins to flatten out towards the San Francisco Bay, there's a lot of commerce there, there's a lot of shipping in that area, and the energy also begins to drop off considerably as well. Now, this means that this depleted energy is going to happen in the housing and commerce in that particular area as well. So interesting, Oakland is a place where gentrification is coming into some of these low vibrant areas. So it's going to be interesting to see if rising costs of real estate, because that's what's happening with gentrification, if that's going to elevate the vibration of certain neighborhoods. But that is going to take a long time to shift that energy. So Feng Shui can have a domino effect, and that shift can, like I said, go either way, positive or negative. So you can take a really great neighborhood and you can tear it down very, very, very quickly, because people will either move in and they'll start vandalism or crime rate, and then it does have, unfortunately, this ripple effect of lowering the chi and the cost of real estate and abandoned buildings, and it just kind of like brings it down, if you will, if not kept in check. Now, conversely, which takes a lot more time, if you go into a community that's already low and try to raise up the conditions, it's going to happen, but it's going to happen on a much slower scale. So that means that the interior and exterior Feng Shui needs to be intact. So here's kind of a tip: you cannot hide good or bad Feng Shui. So when you think like, oh, somebody's coming over and I'm going to just jam a bunch of stuff into a closet, that's really, you still have a bunch of garbage in your closet. So you really have to kind of watch out for that. When I first began my study in classical feng shui, my feng shui grandmaster said in class, this was when I was very early in my studies, he said, if you want to improve your life, you need to improve your feng shui. Now, he further went on to say, you can do this by actually moving to the most expensive area that you want to live in. So if you want to move into the most expensive area of a city or your town, you may have to downsize from the current living situation you are in and even just rent a small room. But by doing so, by being in a higher vibration, you will improve your life. So my tip for you today is this. My grandmaster actually was very right. You want to look at your own living condition, and if you're happy, great. But if you want to make some positive changes, then you must improve your feng shui. And if you're renting or leasing a place, this may be an easier option because you can just move. You don't have, a vested interest in a particular place, and you can move to the most vibrant energy of your town or city. That's usually with the highest price tag, FYI. So that's where you kind of want to go. And you want to go where you can most, you can afford, but you want to try to get into that most vibrant area to improve your life. Now, if you own the building, this may not be so easy or even an option, but what I would have you do then, if you absolutely can't move, but you can do this as a first step too if you're renting, is look in the back of the building. Now, most feng shui people talk about the front and the incoming energy of what's happening, but you're already there. Now, that's also a very valid point. You want to watch the front of your building, but the back of your building is about people matter. So this is your relationships and your health. So you want to make sure that everything's in working order. You want to make sure it's clean and tidy, and whether it's a lawn or patio or whatever, everything is in neat and in order. Your shrubs and your plants and all of that are well kept and living. I mean, you don't want a lot of dead plants back there. So when you improve the energy of your own property, you will increase the vitality in many areas of your life. So the thing you want to do is remain current with the annual energies as well. So you've got everything working kind of long term for you, but you also want to tap into the most vibrant sectors of your space, and that would be the more internal feng shui, and you would be using the annual feng shui to do this. So every January I do my annual feng shui astrology talk, and we're coming up on the fire rooster, and it has many opportunities for you to tap into, as well as challenges you want to avoid. So if you want more information about my live event, go to bit.ly/2017 annual talk. I'm going to be filtering in many of the feng shui tips as we get closer to that event. But for now, look at the backyard or move into the most vibrant area of your community so that you can raise your feng shui. I look forward to seeing you next time on Illuminating Feng Shui. Thank you so much for listening. And until next week, may good chi follow.